And the topic today I'd like to share with you is how to raise your vibration and why it's so important to raise your vibration. It actually helps you connect with your higher self, and you can learn to become more peaceful, more calm of who you really are. You have to get in check with what your ego is. Your ego is the other part of you that keeps you from being calm and centered at times. But today I wanted to share 9 tips with you of how to raise your vibration. But first, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm an author, I'm a salon owner, a medium, an empath, I'm clairaudient, which helps me hear things from the other side. I have 3 spirit guides, I hear from them all the time. And I'm also have clear knowing, which you just get information through your psychic abilities, and clear feeling, which is my strongest empath ability. So today I would like to start with tip number 1. This is lifestyle change. In order to raise your vibration, you have to make changes in your lifestyle. It's not an easy thing to do, but if you're not really happy with the way your life's going, parts of your life's not going, then you have to make some changes. So in order to do that, you have to do the work. That is step number 1. It's probably the hardest one, just to say, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make some changes in my life because I'm sick of the way my life is going. That's just step number 1 in raising your vibration to connect with your higher self. Step number 2 is food. Food is the hardest of the 9 steps that I have found to do because it's everywhere. Food is the connection that we have with people. But to raise your vibration, you have to really be aware what you put inside your mouth. So I'm going to just give you an example of some foods that have high vibrational foods to them. Things like fruits, vegetables, fermented foods. I had to look this one up. Olives, sauerkraut is an example of that. Nuts, seeds, herbs, spices, herbal teas, olive oil, coconut oil. Olive oils are really good for you. Beans, chocolate, Himalayan salt, dark leafy greens, water, grains, and brown rice are just a few examples of high vibrational foods. When I decided to embrace and grow my gifts of being an empath and medium, I researched for months of what I needed to do, like how do I do to develop them. I knew I was born with gifts, I just didn't quite understand the things that were happening. So in my research, raising your vibration was the first step, and it's a really large topic because there's so much information out there. But during my research, I found these 9 tips were the common denominator that I saw over and over and over again. So when you put food into your mouth or anything that goes into your body, it has to be with a higher vibration if you're trying to raise your vibration. An example of negative foods that lower your vibration, which that defeats the whole purpose, are like sugar, sweeteners, white rice, flour, red meat. Processed food is really bad. Vegetable oil, margarine, deep fried foods, soda. It's really, really bad. Microwave foods, fluoride in your water. Lots of times towns have fluoride in your water that you don't even know it's in there. Fluoride affects your pineal gland, which is in the center of your brain, and that is part of your third eye chakra opening up, is directly calcifies your pineal gland. Fluoride in your water. Milk, cheese, alcohol, hard drugs are just a few of the examples of food. But I want to go back and talk about processed food. Processed food is probably the worst thing that you can eat on a regular basis. So if you're eating this type of food like 5 or 6 times a week, several times a day, you really need to think about not doing that. You really need to maybe not do it at all. You know, money's tight sometimes with COVID. We've all had some stress. So if you have to buy foods, because usually processed foods are cheap, if you have to buy them to survive, of course, eat them. But when you have extra money and you have choices that you can make, try to buy foods that aren't processed. It would be much, much better for you. I want to talk about soda for a minute. Soda is the worst thing that you can put in your mouth, as far as I found in my research of lowering your vibration, because it has so many chemicals in them. Processed foods has chemicals in them. That's why they last forever in the refrigerator or the freezer. So soda is another one, because it's like if you buy soda and it says, well, it has 0 calories, you know, there's all this, it's 0, 0, then it's like, what are you drinking? I mean, what is in there? It's chemicals. So if it lowers your vibration, I can't tell you how many times soda was on things that I read, is one of the top 3. I want to talk about alcohol for a little bit. What I researched in that, alcohol, hard alcohol like liquor, lowers your vibration the fastest of any alcohol beverage that you can drink. Of course, we're going to maybe have a cocktail here and there, socialize with our friends, but hard liquor is the worst in lowering your vibration. If you're going to drink, wine would be your best choice and beer would be second. Wine, of course, is made from grapes. Beer is still fermented, which is not as bad as the hard liquor because it hasn't been processed as much to get all the refined trash out of it. So that's why these liquor is the worst, and wine would be better if you have to make those choices. Hard drugs, that was like way up there on the list after doing my research. I know you've met people that have done drugs. Some people take a lot of pills. It's just nothing but chemicals. So it's horrible, 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 horrible for your vibration. It immediately will make it go down. So if you're eating processed foods, drinking all the time, drinking sodas, and doing drugs, and getting, having a buzz all the time off of hard liquor, you really, really are lowering your vibration. So it's not any judgment here about your food. It's just being aware of what you put into your body, because what you put in there is what makes your body react to things. So the higher vibrational foods that you eat will make you feel better, you'll sleep better, your skin will look better, your attitude will be better, and you won't crave the processed foods and all those other things that are low vibrational near as much. But you just have to make baby steps. Baby steps are the easiest thing. Like if you're going out to lunch, instead of ordering the low vibrational foods, try to change it up and think about what you're going to order that you know is better for you. And instead of ordering a Coca-Cola or something like that, then just order water. And if you need the caffeine, if you're really tired, I always say order unsweetened tea. You'll get the caffeine, there's no sugar in it, so it's better for you. And then you get the caffeine that you need to get the energy to go out throughout your day. Food is the hardest lifestyle change, but I guarantee you, if you can make baby steps and really, really try to make these changes within your lifestyle, you will get better and you'll feel better and it'll be easier. And it's not easy. That's the hardest one. That's the hardest one. But if you do it regularly and be aware of it, when you're in the grocery store, try to stay in the produce section more. Stay out of that frozen aisle. That frozen aisle, most everything on that frozen aisle is processed foods. If you can't, afford other things, your money's tight, I totally understand. But if you're wanting to connect with your higher self, to open up your third eye chakra and your crown chakra, these are the steps that you need to do to help you connect with your higher self. Because once you do that, you're going to be more aware of everything around you, because you're opening up these 2 chakras. You'll be more aware of who you're around, what you say, and what you put into your body. You'd be surprised. The baby steps is how you get it going. Just today, start with one thing: I'm going to eat better today. And tomorrow you do the same thing, and you continue. So the next tip is gratitude. All the steps after this get a whole lot easier. Food is the hardest one. So gratitude is your third tip. What to be grateful for. Everything I studied was when you're grateful for things, it raises your vibration immediately. So what I like to do in the morning on my way to work, because it's quiet in my car, I turn off the radio. I hear from my guides a lot in the car also, so I really don't like any noise in the car while I'm riding. And I can hear the hum of the car while I'm headed to work. So while I'm in there riding, I'll just say the things that I'm grateful for. And you really, really have to concentrate and think about what you're grateful for and say them out loud. I believe in God, so I say what I'm grateful for to God. You could say it however you want to, but you need to say it out loud so you can hear yourself actually saying it. I think that's very important. It'll resonate with you how much gratitude you actually have. So like an example, I would say, I'm grateful for you joining me today to try to learn how to better yourself. I'm grateful that my husband supports me in everything that I do. I'm grateful that I have a job that my clients appreciate what I do. They pay my bills. They are my friends. I am grateful that my dog is healthier than she used to be from my prayers. I'm grateful for having a home and security. These are just examples of what you can be grateful for, but you must do this daily. You know, your food is baby steps that you'll have to change here and there, depending on lots of factors. You know, you have children, all kinds of stuff. But gratitude, you need to say it every day. Find a time when you're by yourself where you can really, really decide, okay, I'm going to do my gratitude today. And say it out loud, and when I do it, I say it to God, because I know He's listening. This raises your vibration. Super easy, and you'd be really surprised how much you have to be grateful for. And if you go really deep into your heart chakra when you're saying these things, it might make you cry, because you don't realize what's really important if you don't acknowledge it. So step number 4 is crystals. To me, crystals are like helpers. They're not going to fix everything really fast, but they're like little helpers. I had someone suggest that I wear crystals or buy amethyst, things like that, when I was trying to understand how to develop my empathic abilities. And I thought, okay, this is kind of weird. But, you know, I really wanted to do this. I wanted to, you know, raise my vibration. Everything I studied, you got to raise it to develop, and grow. So I really started getting into crystals, and I've been wearing them for probably 4 years now, especially at my work. You could put them in your pocket. I like to put them in my bra because I usually don't wear pants with pockets. I don't want them to fall out when I'm working on a customer. So I just put them in there, make a little pouch. And you'd be surprised over time, because they're very slow in how they react to you, because each crystal does different things. They're the helpers. They just influence and increase your vibration without you even realizing it. I'll show you this one. This is rose quartz. And I like the polished crystals because they're not sharp. They're just, they feel good. You could get them online. They don't have to be expensive. I try to get small ones. I do sell them at the salon. I try to get small ones if you're going to wear them. Put them in, you don't want something bulky in your clothing. But I have learned if you wear them, it's much better than them just sitting around than you actually have them on your person, because they're in your aura. I have them now in my home. I have them at my work. I have them in my purse. I have a couple in my car. I have my crystals everywhere. So another one I'll show you is lapis, blue lapis. This is actually for the throat chakra. Of course, rose quartz is for your heart chakra. And wearing crystals is not going to fix all your emotional problems, but these are the helpers that raise your vibration. So I highly recommend that you check out crystals. We'll definitely do another show on that because there's so many out there. But you can start at the baby steps with that also. Be open to it. Give it time. And then when you're not wearing your crystals, you need to put them in a dry sea salt bath, just dry, and the sea salt will absorb all the negative energy from the crystals that has drawn from you, because they actually absorb things from you, which is the trash, which is good. That's why it raises your vibration. Okay, so tip number 5 is exercise. Okay, we all hate it, myself included. And I'm not saying you have to get out there and run 5 miles a day, or you got to go get the weights out, you got to pump the iron. No, exercise to raise your vibration can be going for a walk, just going outside on your deck, walking around, being in nature. Take your dog for a walk. Spend time with your kids outside. Take your shoes off if it's not cold. When your feet touch the ground, it's just a great way to ground you also. So when you exercise, it immediately moves stuff around in your aura. It raises your vibration almost instantly. It's so, so good for you. So try exercising however you can. Here's a good tip. I think every client that I have that comes into the salon talks about having to go to Walmart. I don't go to Walmart because I'm an empath. There's way too much negative energy there for me. I don't enjoy going there. But to save money and to get all the things that you need, it's definitely the place to go. So what you do to exercise is park at the back of the lot. Instead of parking up there at the front, park at the back. Then you got to walk all the way to the front. Then you're going to walk around in the store and then walk back to your car. You got to push the cart back. So you've got your exercise in just from doing your daily task of going to the supermarket. You can do it at the grocery store also. Park a little bit further back so you can walk more. And there's your exercise. Super, super easy, raises your vibration, and you will feel better. Okay, tip number 6 is salt baths and rest. I kind of combine those two. Salt baths are wonderful for you. You want to get sea salt. The best sea salt even has better qualities in the salt than just some sea salts. But you want to use sea salt because it's just the best for cleansing your aura. So you fill up the bath, you put about a half a cup in there, and you want to soak in there you can put lavender, really de-stress yourself. But what the salt does is actually dissolves any negative debris that you have in your aura. You want to get your head wet also with the sea salt. It won't hurt your hair, doesn't hurt your skin. Salt's really good for your skin, actually. And I don't have a bathtub. We have a hot tub. You can't put salt in there. So I like to do a shower with baking soda. You could do. I put a little dish in the shower, and I put the baking soda in there, and you just suds up and just scrub down. Scrub down with the baking soda. And it does the same thing. It's not quite as good as if you immerse in a whole tub of sea salt, but they both are so, so good for you. It raises your vibration immediately, removes all the trash out of your aura that you pick up around people you work with. Could be your family, could be your children. I mean, they have stress too. So when you touch each other, which I touch people all day, so believe me, I know what it feels like. You absorb their energy into your aura. So a salt bath is awesome to do if you have a very stressful job, or you've had a really bad day and you're just overwhelmed. Take a nice long bath. Take a nice extra long shower and really suds up, with the baking soda and the soap, and really enjoy it. Imagine all the negativity washing out of your aura. These things are awesome, super easy to do, and excellent for your skin and raising your vibration. Rest along with that. Okay, in working in a salon for over 30 years, I hear so many different things, but the one thing I hear a lot of sometimes when people get overstressed is, I got to do this, I got to do this, I've got so much to do. Well, you need to slow down. You need to slow down. Allow yourself to take rest. Just tell your family, I just really feel like I need a nap. So I'm going to lay down for an hour. So please don't disturb me. I'm just really tired and I need to recharge. Super simple. Just give yourself permission to rest. Perfect after a bath, actually. Um, all right, tip number 7 is meditation and journaling. Of course, meditation, anytime you meditate, raises your vibration immediately. I mean, immediately, because you're working on the third eye chakra and the crown chakra. These two are the ones you're wanting to connect with to know who you are. That is who you are. That's your soul. This is those chakras. So journaling is a great way for you to be more aware of what's going on during this process. And that's what started me actually. I started journaling, and I had so many things happening in doing these baby steps with these tips. I started having visits in my dreams from spirit. I started experiencing so many different things from clients. I started feeling better. So I started logging it all down. So I'd be more aware, and you'll start to see patterns. You'll start to see your patterns. Those are the ones you need to change in your lifestyle. And the journaling is really why I wrote this book, Living Life as an Empath and Medium. I had so much happen between the year of 2012 and 2016, I think, are my timeline in there. It was enough to write a book. I've learned a lot since then of how to write better, how to edit better, and how to communicate better. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to do this show, because there's so much that I'm learning since I have risen my vibration, and I know who I really am now. I know exactly what I want to do with my life, and it's writing and doing what I'm doing today. But this is part of the process of me growing. So journaling, I highly recommend. If you write down the foods that you've had, it'll help you be more aware of what you're putting in your mouth. You can always Google and see, high vibrational foods, low vibrational foods. The other one is journaling. Oh, if you have dreams, write those down. That are really, wow, I'm really not sure about this dream. It'll help you understand more of your psyche, because you're opening up your third eye chakra when you raise your vibration. You'll have more dreams because you're more open, you're more aware, and it's just really, really good to write them down. All right, let's go on to tip 8, positive thoughts. This is huge. This is huge, and it's hard. You got to retrain your brain. You got to retrain your brain to think positively. I hear this all the time in the salon. They'll come in, I'm just so, this person pissed me off, and I'm just da 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 da. And I always tell them, this is what you do. When someone talks to you negatively, and they say a negative remark, then you say a positive remark in return. It'll squash it. There's nothing else that they can say, because they want to talk more negative, more negative, more negative. So if you say the positive, it just squashes it. The more positive you're thinking, the higher it raises your vibration instantly. And it'll shift your thinking, and then it becomes a habit, because if you talk negatively, that becomes a habit also. And it can be a part of your lifestyle. And when you do negative things, you'll attract negative people into your life. When you do positive things, you attract positive things into your life. So if your life isn't going good, you don't like parts of your life, it's just not where you want it to be, then you need to make some changes. And that is what I'm trying to teach you today. They're baby steps, just got to make baby steps. As long as you're moving forward, you will get to the goal that you are trying to achieve. These tips will help you do these things to know who you are, why you were born, what are you supposed to do, why were you born. This will help you. Negative thinking lowers your vibration. Remember that. So listen to yourself. When you're talking to someone, what are you saying? What are you doing? Are you being negative? You need to stop it. Catch yourself, shift your thought, think about, how can I say that positively? Then that's what you need to do. And you will attract more positive people into your life, and it will help you grow. That will help you grow. These negative people do not help you grow. You need to distance yourself from them. Does it mean you don't like them? Does it mean you don't care? Does it mean you don't love them? They're not good for you. You're trying to grow. You're trying to change yourself. You're trying to change your lifestyle because you don't like it. So you have to be aware of whom you are around and who is sharing your space. What are they giving to you? What are they taking from you? This is very important. I can't stress enough how important that is. And sometimes you have to cut loose some friends, you have to cut loose some family members, maybe even your kids, bosses, people you work with. You really, really have to be aware. If you have to be around people, especially at your job, you have to work with them, this is a tip that I would suggest. If you have to be in their space, you know, your aura is about 3 to 4 feet wide, give or take. When you're engaging with this person, do not let them touch your aura. Step back. Actually, the COVID thing, the 6 feet apart, you're not touching anybody's aura. You're holding your own, you know, space. Don't let your auras touch. Very important. That way you don't absorb any of their energy and they don't absorb any of yours. That's very important. Believe me, I know, working in a salon, I have to touch people. Everybody has a bad day. So if I have a client that's having a bad day, then I'm absorbing their energy. I've learned to do things to block that. Being a very strong empath and a medium, I've learned to do things to block it. But sometimes it still sneaks in there and they take my energy as hard as I am trying to seal everything. But that's the best tip I can give you if you must be around someone at your job, to keep some distance in between. That will help you immensely. And don't spend much time with them. Spend the least amount of time that you can. If there's a subject you need to discuss about your work, discuss it quickly and get away from them. You know, say thank you for taking the time to talk to me, but I gotta go. I gotta go to the bathroom, whatever. Make an excuse to get out of there as quick as you can. And you'd be surprised, you'll feel better. Just because you're not around that negative energy. Okay, tip number 9 is prayer. All right, this is a touchy subject for some people because of religion, but I want to say again, I grew up in a Methodist church. I was made to go to church every day, and I grew to hate parts of it because I saw how people that I knew very close to me would act one way there, and then they'd act another way somewhere else. And I thought, you know, this really, I don't like that. This is not being honest. It's not having integrity. And I really learned some negative behaviors from the church. But in raising my vibration, wanting to develop my abilities of an empath, a medium, and then I became clairaudient after that, which is awesome to hear from the other side. Because they're in heaven with God. The spirits that I hear from are normally my guides. Prayer is huge. It's the one of the most powerful things that you have. And it raises your vibration immediately. You must do it every day. You'll see it happening. You'll see things shift in your life. You'll see things improve because prayer immediately makes you aware. It opens up your crown chakra because you're praying. I mean, I pray to God, so I know He's listening. So you're aware of what you need and what you're asking for. Prayer is huge in raising your vibration. Gratitude and prayer are way up there. The one thing I want to talk about, though, that I have learned that my guides have taught me, you know, this is what I write about. It's in this book, Experiences Never Stop, and this book. Are the things that I've learned from my guides, and they're with God. My master guide's an angel. He's actually told me that God speaks directly to him, and he sounds masculine. Because I'll go over that in another show. But they've taught me this. This is extremely important. Extremely important. When you pray, you must pray for what you need and not what you want. When you pray for what you want, you're praying from the ego. And the ego is the other part of you that is the opposite of your higher self. So you never, ever, ever want to pray from the ego. The ego is the solar plex. It's where your tummy is. It's your gut. It's down there. That's where your ego is at. You always want to pray for what you need. When you pray for what you need, that comes from the heart. You'll never go wrong. You'll never ever go wrong when you pray for the heart. The ego, let's see, let's go back to prayer. There was something else I wanted to tell you. Prayer is very powerful. I've gotten to where I pray every day because the higher my vibration has gotten, the more I do hear from the other side. The more I'm aware of what's going on in my life. The more I know what's coming out of my mouth, and I pay way more attention of what I'm receiving from others. Prayer has helped me immensely raise my vibration, and I have seen many of my prayers answered, which is incredible. I've seen my dog, for an example. I've prayed for her to have longevity, overall better health, endurance, more time with her, improving her sight and hearing, and removing the tumors from her body. That's what my guides have told me to do through meditation that I have heard through my clairaudience. And that's what I pray for, and I do it every day. She's got tumors on her shoulder that are almost completely gone. They're half gone. She had one on her eye. It hasn't grown at all. And she is 14, and she seems happier and has more energy than she did 2 years ago when I started doing this. And when I meditate, I still always ask about my dog because she's like my child. And of course, she's in both books because she's with me wherever I go, and she's my best friend. So of course I want to pray for her, and they've instructed me exactly what to pray for. So when you pray for what you need, be sure it's specific. You know, like today before I did this show, I prayed that I needed to be grounded. I pray for calmness, tranquility, and to help me stay focused in how I can help others. So I did that prayer before I began today. I highly recommend prayer. It's probably would help you raise your vibration more than anything. Let's see. There are different ways to pray. You can do your own. There's no judgment here. My guides, again, that are with God, have taught me how to pray. Like if I prayed for my dog, I would just say, to give you an example, Lord, please, I pray for Noodle. That's her. You need to say their name. Say the person's name. Lord, I pray for Noodle. I pray for endurance, longevity, more time with her, improve her sight, her hearing. Please remove the tumors from her body. Keep her spirit bright. I ask these things in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. In Jesus Christ I pray. Amen. I grew up Methodist, not Catholic, but for some reason this clear knowing thing has popped in for my abilities, and I feel this urgency to cross myself. I've never done that ever in my life, but I do it now because that's what makes me feel good. That's how I pray. That's how I was taught to pray from my guides that I know are with God in heaven. I highly recommend acknowledging the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit when you pray, because what they said was it shows respect to God, but it also shows respect to your faith. That's how I pray. No judgment here. You do as you please and what's good and comfortable for you and your beliefs. Okay, we've talked about the ego. No, we haven't. The ego. Oh my God. Okay, the other part, which is the opposite of your higher self. The ego, which I deal with at the salon all the time, it's your social mask. It's what you want others to see. It's not who you are. It's a social mask. So I did do my hair. I did put a little makeup on today for you because I didn't want to scare you. But that's my social mask. Now you see it. But your social mask is your ego. It's only what you want others to see about you. Your higher self is who you really are. And honestly, as I've gotten older, I wanted this to be professional, so I did want to spruce up a bit. But I really don't care what people think of how I look. And before, I would never even go to the grocery store without full makeup on, you know, hair done, all that. I really, really don't care. But those are my you know, feelings of how comfortable I am with myself because I've risen my higher vibration. The one thing you have to really be aware of when you are raising your vibration and your ego, you want to keep them balanced. If they're not balanced, it's not good. You actually want your vibration of your higher self maybe up here to keep check on the ego. The ego has to be in check at all times. If your ego's up here, you know, that's not good. You don't know who you are at all. Ego's running the show, and you don't have a clue what's going on. And if you've been around people that their ego's running the show, they're arrogant, they're selfish, they're self-centered, they don't care about nothing but themselves. They only think about themselves and what they want, and they don't care about what you need at all, because that's what the ego does. The ego is all about what I want, what I want, what I want. Your higher self is what I need, what I need, what I need. Two totally different things. So you always want to keep those balanced. You kind of want your higher self a little bit better off. You want to get it up here. So if your higher self is, that's not good. You got to get it at least balanced, and then keep it in check. I can't tell you how important that is. And you'll feel better. You'll be a nicer person. This is where it happens. You'll be happier. You'll be less stressed. You'll be kinder. You'll be more loving. You'll stand up for yourself more, because you know what's important in your life, and you know exactly what you want and what you don't want. That is what is becoming aware, and that is why you should raise your vibration. That's why it's so important. There's one part of the ego that's good, though. The ego can make you work harder. It can make you be competitive. It can protect you from harm. Your ego could say, hey, you're not going to do that. So those things are good of the ego. But, pay attention, when you die, the ego is no longer with you. So it doesn't serve you anymore. The only thing left when you die is your higher self, which is your soul. And that's all there is. So if you do all the work that you can while you're alive, and really raise your vibration, change your lifestyle so you don't waste time. I mean, how long are you going to be here? How long are you going to be on this earth? Are you going to live till you're 85? I mean, do you know? Are you going to get in a car wreck tomorrow and die? I mean, I had a boyfriend that died at 23 years old from a car wreck. It completely turned my life completely upside down in one afternoon. It was the most horrific thing I think I've ever experienced, other than my father passing. So you really have to pay attention. What do you want with your life? Don't you want to make it better? Don't you want to be happier? Then you must make lifestyle changes. These are the tools. I've given you the 9 steps that will help you. After all the research I've done, these are the most important. They were on all the lists. These were always at the top. These 9 were at the top. There's many, many out there that will help you even more, but these were the common denominator. And I mean, I researched this for weeks. When I do something, I research something to death until I find all the answers that I possibly can find, until I know that I'm on the right path. So I really, really hope that this resonates with you. Don't waste another minute of your life not doing something. I want to go back real quick, though. Reinforce the things you should stay away from. These are the low vibrational things. Pay attention. The most important are drugs. You know, I've done stuff I'm not proud of. No judgment here whatsoever. They're not good for you. They have chemicals in them. If you change your lifestyle and do baby steps, a lot of these things, especially pills, you won't need. You won't want to get high because you are happy. You won't want that escapism. And it becomes a cycle. You attract people to you that are negative, and then you get in this cycle that's hard to get out of. Drugs is very bad for you. Alcohol. Hard alcohol. Same thing. It's got chemicals in it. And, you know, well, I hear people say, oh, you know, this weekend, you know, I got drunk and just had a great time. Just had a great time. What the hell did you do? Do you remember? What did you say? It's not helping you. You have to make some lifestyle changes. You still can have a cocktail, have a good time, but just don't get out of control. Have some balance, you know. Okay, processed foods. That's the other one. Just try your best to make choices of not eating processed foods as best you can. They're cheap and they're everywhere. Just try to eat more vegetables. Just really, really concentrate on not anything you got to put in the microwave and nuke it for 3 minutes. It's processed foods. Hot dogs, lunch meat, stuff like that. It's cheap. You got to do it if you don't have the money. Totally understand. You have to live, and life ain't easy. But when you're trying to raise your vibration, those are some choices that you have power of. So processed foods is probably the worst in the food category. Sodas is just horrible. Stay away from them. Drink water, drink water, drink water. Water will hydrate you. It will make your organs work better. When you start doing some of these things, not eating processed foods and drinking more water, not drinking as many sodas, you'll lose weight. Diets don't work. Diets don't work. They don't work. There's a million scams out there. I hear this all the time in the salon. I cannot tell you how much I hear about dieting. You need to make a lifestyle change and you will lose the weight. Sometimes you have health issues, thyroid, different things like that can affect how you don't lose weight. But if you make the lifestyle change, there you are. Gossip and drama. All right, that's negative. You got to stop doing the, drama and the gossip. Spreading the word. Got to spread the word. Sometimes it's fun to gossip a little bit, but you got to do the balance. You got to do the balance. When you focus on all of your energy on the gossiping, it's negative. It creates drama in your life, and it lowers your vibration. And you'll have negative talk, negative thinking, and it's just not good. So try really hard. If people are doing the drama or the gossip at your work or at your home or with your friends, say something positive and it will shift the whole conversation. Promise you, it works very well. I do that at work all the time. Playing the victim. Oh my God, this is way up there for the negative. Oh, woe is me, I can't get a job, I don't know what I'm going to do. I wanted to move, but I don't know what's going to happen. You can't do that. That's just making excuses, and it lowers your vibration because you're not willing to make a lifestyle change. You're not willing to change your lifestyle. You must do the work. If you want to figure out who you are, be the best person that you can be happy, and not wasting time. You cannot play the victim. You'll get nowhere. And no one wants to be around a person that plays the victim. I know you're out there. I know you're listening. And you know people that do that, because I do also. And I try to distance myself. I try to stay away, because I've learned it's negative behavior, and they have to own that behavior to make changes. You cannot help them until they stop playing the victim and make that decision to change something. You're totally waste of time. All right, watching the news. All right, oh my God. Stop watching the news. Everything on there is negative. It sounds negative. It's fear-mongering. What I do, because you got to know what's going on in the world, is read it. It's on our news feed. You can click on it. You can watch a couple videos if you're really interested, but you don't have to sit there and watch the news for hours. I've got clients that they tell me they know people that watch the news all day long. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. It's terrible for you. If you want to know what's going on in the world, do a quick check, read it. It's even better, because then you're not hearing the fear-mongering, because it makes people scared to death when they watch the news. They are just terrified the world's coming to an end. And it's just negative, so you got to be positive. If you're trying to raise your vibration, that one's not helping. You got to stop watching the news. Being judgmental, that's another one. We all do it. Comes from the ego. When you're being judgmental, it comes from the ego. That's just who we are. We are human beings. We are not perfect. I still want to be judgmental sometimes, and I'm trying really hard not to do that behavior. I'm having to unlearn behavior that I thought was appropriate, and it's not. So you try to be loving and kind to other individuals. You don't know what journey they are on. I had someone explain something to me that helped me a lot. Was if someone's trying to prove themselves, like, okay, I've been doing the vibrational thing for years. I mean, I wrote this book in 2012, so how many years is that? 8? I've been doing the vibrational thing for that long, and it's completely changed who I am in my life. I'm much healthier, much happier. I don't drink hard liquor anymore. Don't miss it. I'm not around half the people that I thought I loved because they're just so toxic. I had to make a lot of lifestyle changes for me, for my family to grow. And I'm sharing this with you today. These things aren't easy, but you can do them, and that's what we have to do to improve ourselves. Okay, the last one. I know I've had you for quite some time. This is a big topic. It's hard to not talk about this for a long period of time because it's huge. It's a lifestyle change. Is fear. Okay, you cannot be afraid. It lowers your vibration worse than anything. If you're afraid to do something, you're just not going to go anywhere. You're not going to grow. That's exactly what fear wants you to do. It wants you to stay stuck. It wants you to play the victim. It wants you to go backward, maybe even, because you didn't learn that lesson. And if you have a lesson presented to you, it'll just repeat, because you're not getting it. And it's the fear that keeps you from getting it, because you're afraid to make a lifestyle change. You're afraid to let some people go. You're afraid to move from a job. You're afraid to move in any direction because you're afraid. So fear is the absolute worst thing in lowering your vibration and helping you figure out who you really are. I'm putting myself out there today. This is my first live video, but I'm doing it because I know that this will help others, and I know I'll get better at it, and that's what I'm doing to help myself grow, because I know exactly why I was born, what my purpose is to be a writer and to teach others the things that I'm learning from the other side, that I'm hearing from my guides that are with God in heaven. That's my goals for the day. Please try these small lifestyle changes. Even if you do a little bit at a time, you'd be surprised how much it has an impact in the long term of your life. The ones that you really need to focus on the most daily is your food and gratitude, positive thoughts, and prayer. Those cost you nothing. Food does, but the others do not. They cost you nothing but your effort in doing them daily. So I would like to say thank you for joining me today. I hope I've helped you in some way. Please click the like button on this page or the follow button. Share it with friends if you think they're interested in this topic or want to improve themselves, because this is the page I will be doing live updates regularly, or broadcast. And if you have any comments down below, just please leave what you want to learn more about, and that's the ones I'll work on next. Thank you so much, and may God bless you, and thank you for joining.